Every meaningful change in life starts in one place, our minds. Not in the world outside of us, not in the circumstances we can't control, not in the approval or opinions of others. It begins in the quiet, private space of how we think, how we believe, and how we choose to see ourselves. And yet, most of us spend our lives waiting for things outside of us to shift before we allow ourselves to shift within. We tell ourselves, I'll feel confident once I succeed. I'll feel worthy once someone validates me. I'll feel hopeful once the situation improves. But the truth is, nothing out there changes until something in here does. Our mindset is the lens through which we see the world, and here's the thing: the lens can either sharpen our vision or distort it completely. With the wrong mindset, opportunities look like obstacles, failure feels like finality, and risk seems like recklessness. With the right mindset, those same opportunities become invitations, failure becomes a teacher, and risk transforms into courage. The world doesn't change, but the way we meet the world does. And that difference changes everything. But let's be honest, changing your mindset isn't as simple as flipping a switch. It's uncomfortable. It forces us to confront the stories we've been carrying for years, the stories that say we're not enough, that we'll never make it, that people like us don't get to dream that big. Shifting your mindset requires vulnerability. It means daring to believe in possibility even when fear is screaming that it's safer to stay small. It means giving yourself permission to fail, to stumble, to get it wrong, and still trust that you're capable of growing through it. And here's where so many of us get stuck. We want guarantees. We want to know it's going to work out before we take the risk. But mindset work isn't about certainty, it's about courage. It's about being willing to walk into the unknown, trusting that no matter what happens, you can rise, you can learn, and you can rebuild. That shift, believing that you are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond, is the very heart of transformation. The truth is, the most powerful people you've ever admired are not defined by their success alone. They're defined by the stories they told themselves when things fell apart, when the world said no, when they were left with nothing but their own grit and faith to keep moving. That's what mindset does. It doesn't eliminate hardship, but it gives you the resilience to stand back up and say, this is not where my story ends. So as we step into this conversation about changing your mindset, I want you to pause and imagine what could open up in your life if you stop seeing yourself through the lens of fear, scarcity, and limitation. What if the biggest barrier you've been fighting isn't out there in the world, but right here, in the thoughts you choose to believe? Because when your mindset changes, the way you experience everything changes with it. Every meaningful change in life begins in one place, our minds. Not in the economy, not in our circumstances, not in the opportunities we think we didn't get. It begins right here in the quiet space of how we think, how we believe, and how we choose to see ourselves. But most of us don't live that way. We wait. We wait for something outside of us to change before we give ourselves permission to change within. We tell ourselves, I'll feel confident once I succeed. I'll feel worthy once someone recognizes me. I'll feel hopeful once life finally gets easier. But here's the truth that often feels hard to swallow: nothing out there shifts until something in here does. Your mindset is the lens through which you experience the world, and the lens matters. With the wrong mindset, the very same opportunity that could change your life looks like a risk not worth taking. With the wrong mindset, failure feels like proof you should quit instead of evidence that you're learning. With the wrong mindset, every rejection sounds like a verdict that you're not good enough. But when your mindset shifts, even slightly, everything changes. That opportunity becomes a doorway. That failure becomes a teacher. That rejection becomes redirection. The world outside hasn't changed. The obstacles haven't magically disappeared. But the way you stand in front of them, the way you respond to them, that changes everything. Now, let's be honest with each other. Changing your mindset isn't about snapping your fingers and instantly believing something new. It's hard work. It's uncomfortable. It means holding up a mirror to the stories you've been carrying for years, stories that whisper, you're not capable enough. You don't belong. People like you don't get that kind of life. And most of us would rather cling to the old story than step into the vulnerability of writing a new one. Because shifting your mindset requires courage. It means daring to believe in possibility, even when fear is screaming at you to stay small. It means letting yourself dream bigger, even when the evidence hasn't shown up yet. It means giving yourself permission to stumble, to fall, to fail publicly, and still keep showing up. That's what courage looks like. And that's what mindset asks of us. Here's the part we don't often admit. We crave guarantees. We want to know it's going to work out before we take the leap. But mindset work doesn't give you guarantees. It gives you resilience. It teaches you that no matter what happens, you can rise again. That even if you fail, you are not a failure. That even if things fall apart, you are not broken, you are becoming. The people you admire most in life, the leaders, the innovators, the creators, the visionaries, they are not defined by the moments when everything went smoothly. They are defined by the moments when it all fell apart, by the stories they told themselves in the dark, by the decision to stand back up, to rewrite the narrative, and to move forward without certainty but with courage. That's what mindset gives you. It doesn't erase the pain or the struggle, but it transforms the way you carry it. So, as we begin this conversation about changing your mindset, I want to ask you something. What if the biggest barrier you've been fighting isn't out there in the world at all? What if it's right here, in the thoughts you've been believing about yourself? And what if everything you've been waiting for, every opportunity, every breakthrough, every possibility has been waiting on one decision from you? The decision to change your mind. Because when your mindset changes, your story changes. And when your story changes, your entire life begins to change with it.